Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Dychronic, your host here on... God damn, these lights are not like they used to be. On this Destiny 2 video, we're going to be taking a look at the very first week of Season of the Splicer on May 11, 2020. And for some reason, they thought in the update they should include lights that turn off every once in a while, which... it doesn't seem like a great use of their time, but they did it, I guess. So in this video, we're not only going to be going over all of the stuff that has reset for this week, including the Nightfalls and the specialty stuff. We'll obviously also be going over all of the new stuff that I can see as far as Season of the Splicer goes. So this is going to be a longer one. It's going to include a lot more stuff. Firstly, can I just mention, I noticed that my Titan is wearing a golden class item. I thought to myself, yeah, maybe it's just because that's the last year's version. This is also a golden class item. And then if I make my way right over here, I noticed that the lion, which is the Titan, is also highlighted. I guess we won, boys. We did it. I don't know how that's possible, but yeah. So the Guardian Games was definitely won by the Hunters. No one is actually surprised, but the Hunters for some reason right now have bronze and Titans have gold. So first and foremost, right when you log in, you're actually going to be launched straight into a mission right in the Europa. There'll be a little launch thing right here if you miss it or you happen to get kicked out or something that has you introduce the new stuff for the new season. I'll try not to spoil it, but there's a couple of new things going along. After you finish the first two missions of that, then you're obviously going to be able to go to the tower and do whatever you want. There's going to be some new stuff in the Helm. We'll try to go over a couple of these different things as far as like vendors and how their interactions are. I'll try not to spoil things, but for the most part, this is pretty fast. It's probably not too much of a spoiler anyways. Beyond that, everything else looks pretty much the same. The pinnacles that were pinnacle last season are still pinnacle this season. Everything else seems pretty straightforward. With that, this season there also are a bunch of new exotic leg armors, which I don't believe are available right now. Yeah, there are no exotic leg armors available right now, but the three new ones, one for each class, are available and will be in these Legend Lost sectors. There's obviously also a new Season of the Splicer Season Pass. If you have the premium track, you can obviously get the new sidearm right away. This is what it does. It has an interesting special perk, which I think is actually fair, kind of like the Devil's Ruin, but it is kind of in a kill clip form, which I think is going to be all right, but we'll have to wait and see exactly how it works. On top of that, there are like 40 new weapons in this current season, including the Vex Mytho class, which is a returning Destiny 1 Vault of Glass weapon, which everybody knew about because Vault of Glass is going to be happening next week on Saturday. Just a kind of overview of some of the stuff that is going to be available here. A lot of this stuff should be pretty straightforward, you know, some emblems, some, you know, resources. I also heard that there are no longer going to be armor, and it seems that's the case, or at least there's no more armor on the actual season pass itself. We have the 900 RPM heavy machine gun here. We obviously have the rank 35 for the free track, which you can get for free on that sidearm. You just have to make your way to it. Everything else seems pretty straightforward. We have the precision frame. I believe this is a slug. Precision frame slug. Yeah, so this is a slug, very similar to the first and last out. You also notice that it says infinite power sunset, which is pretty nice. Also has this little sparrow here, the Reese Racer, which boosts like that, in case you were wondering. Beyond that, everything else seems pretty straightforward. Obviously, a lot of the armor is missing, so they filled the spots with some other stuff. This is the ornament stuff for the new seasonal armor, which gives you a new look on some of that, and then obviously this thing, which might be the thumbnail, because it's probably easy to cut out. Yeah, and you got some fun stuff. I'm not really a big fan of the new seasonal armor, but it's there if you want it. To be honest, there's nothing that's really that exciting on the season pass. I really did enjoy having really high stat armor from 37 to 57, but they decided to remove this season and put it more into the seasonal activity. So hopefully that's good. Moving on to the seasonal challenge, just going over the very first week of seasonal challenge, and I'm not going to go every single one of them. All you have to understand is that these give you a lot of extra XP. You can see here ×2 extra large XP, just extra larges, and this is basically the way you want to get a lot of your experience. Focus on these, you get a bunch of rewards. Obviously you get stuff for the new hammer table, you know, the thing where you upgrade stuff. So do a lot of these. This is going to be a really big important part. And apparently you can also complete 18 of the previous season. Obviously linked to the battleground stuff, which I imagine has to do with the bonuses to the hammer upgrades, which, you know, I guess makes sense. So you most likely have completed all these if you got all the hammer upgrades. I also wanted to very quickly run through some of the new vendors. Some of them do have some new stuff. Seems like the Vanguard actually doesn't have anything new, which is very disappointing. Hey, 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 looks like the Titans won, baby! Keep her going! Keep her going! Shax obviously does actually have some changes in the fact that he has new items available for the new season. Obviously a new shader, which is very red. Wow, this is almost like Carmenica levels of red. This is pretty intense. Obviously, a new emblem, which is this emblem up here. I was hoping to see a full preview, but alas, nonetheless, everything else seems pretty much the same. There is a love of the fight. How did you know? Also, if you did not know, there's actually new exotics that are added to the exotic archive in the Monument to Lost Lights right next to the vault, where you can actually see a Beyond Lights section, which is going to include Duality and Taku's Divination, which was literally last season and the one before that, so it's pretty quick. And again, just to highlight, if you have not already, I would highly recommend first pick up the Ariana's Vow, second pick up the Wither Horde, and actually Wither Horde's going to be really strong this season. I've already seen the artifact mods, and they're really good. And there's a lot of grenade launcher stuff and rocket launcher stuff. I'm very excited. Also, when you visit Banshee, obviously he's going to start you on the current ritual weapon, which is going to be the Null Composure, which is very similar to the Loaded Question, is that it has the Reservoir Burst thing, which everybody does love, and I do like, although they did nerf it for this season. I was hoping that Reservoir Burst was going to be contained in more fusion rifles, but it just seems like they're just doing Loaded Question 2.0, but it doesn't have auto-loading. Either way, you pick up the quest here, you also start up this quest for Ada thing, you also start up the quest for the Catalyst for the sidearm, but the big change here, actually, he is giving mods, but not like before. These are the standard mods. You have the ability to get specific weapons. So like in Destiny 1, we have an almost arms day thing, where if you wanted a specific weapon with a very specific role, which actually this is not a bad role for this, you can do a mission in order to, or at least, no, I guess you just buy it? Oh, okay, you just buy it. I thought that you'd have to do some quests for it. Okay. If you wanted any of this stuff, including the new 120 RPM Void Grenade Launcher, which in my opinion does not do better than Interference 6, but it was there. And I guess this changes either every day or every week, and you can get a very specific role. Again, it's a specific role. It's, you know, changes, and you may get the role that you want. Just pay attention to Twitter. Whoa. Maybe that's a bit of spoilers, but whoa. I didn't expect them to just be right here, huh? Are you jacking off? Tell me the truth. Do you have two penises like you have double arms? Okay, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Just real quick, wanted to check out the Drifter, pretty much the same as Shax. He has a new green thing if you want to make your stuff green, and then he also has a new emblem if you want to make the emblem like that. And obviously the big change is gonna be to Ada. If you don't know, Ada has returned to the left section of the tower, where she's gonna help you with the Syntho Weave. Whoa, okay, this place is a bit different than it was last time. What did you do? Okay, Ada's got some new threads, as it were, which obviously starts you on the quest line for the universal ornaments being applied to anything, which is the new stuff, transmog. It's very exciting. I'm gonna skip this because that's just the kind of guy I am. You go to her, she has a bunch of stuff, including obviously the new mods that Gunsmith used to have. Okay, relax. So if you're looking for these specialty mods and stuff, it's now an Ada instead of the Gunsmith, because the Gunsmith now has the weapons, she has these mods, which is better. Also, you can get the Ascendant Shard stuff here as well. On top of that, you can get this is Beyond Lights armor set, if you wanted to get this for some reason. On top of that, I did hear about this in one of the twabs. You have to get Synth Strand from something, I forget what. It might just be killing enemies just randomly. And then you spend it on one of these, and then you get armor synthesis materials that you then spend or use on something else, and then you get one of the things to change infinite universal armor set thing. So it's kind of complicated, but it seems like we got Vanguard, Crucible, Gambit, Destination Patrol, and Raid, and Dungeon, which is good. There's a good assortment here. Which means you can do all sorts of different activities. Everything should be rather straightforward with her. Just get the stuff, get the next stuff, and then the next stuff after that. And then you can finally get into Transmog, which, if you did not know, is in your inventory now. It's right here, the Appearance Customizer, where you can do all of this stuff. If you wanted to make it so all your armor gets shaded at once, you now have the ability to do that, because it's now a shader unlock system, unlike before, which was kind of annoying. It's all here. And if you wanted to, for example, take one of the items and you wanted to get any ornament, any headpiece for every single possible thing in the game, that's what Synthweave is for, is so that you can make your helmet look like a green helmet while also still being a purple helmet, which, you know, it's cool, but it's gonna be a lot of work. And apparently you can do 20 of them in this first season. Season after that, I think, is gonna be 10. Most people are saying that's not enough. Honestly, I think that is plenty, considering how hard it's going to be to get. I think 20 is going to be fine, especially considering what you're doing is you're picking your favorite, not unlocking them all. Right, so with that out of the way, let's go ahead and move on with the regular weekly reset stuff. We'll be getting over to the Helm after the regular weekly reset stuff, which obviously has a lot of the new upgrade wall. Again, after those first 2 missions, we'll get that in a little bit. But for the Nightfall, this week is going to be the Glassway. Glassway is known for being a very hard difficulty mission. I should probably mention is that the maximum light, it has only technically increased like 10 levels, I think it was. So instead of going like an extra 50 from 1310 to like 1360, I think it only goes up to 1320 now, which is something I remember. I cannot confirm, but I think that that's the case, and effectively why these difficulties numbers have not changed by much. They've only changed by 10 value, which would obviously line up. So if you have a very high power already, you may be able to do a lot of these things. Like right now, I could do a legend Nightfall, which is pretty good. And I do like that. Makes it so I don't have to grind as much personally, but also loses a lot of the effect of the grind. And as such, Glassway, it's a very long mission, so hero might be possible, but again, because it's so long, you'll start losing points out, so you might want to do legend just for the higher timer. And as for the Nightfall Unique, I don't know, because they changed the Nightfall Unique Adepts. Normally, it would be Adept Palindrome this week, or not Adept, it would just be Palindrome this week, but they have changed it. There's 3 new options you can get. Personally, I'm not really a fan of any one of them. As for the strike playlist, its burn is going to be Arcsinge. As for the Crucible side of things, the rotating playlist is going to be Team Scorch, which is actually a lot of fun. Everyone has a Scorch Cannon, you try to kill everybody with your Scorch Cannon, and pro tip, if you hold and release, i.e. holding down the trigger until it's near the target, and air burst, it makes it a lot easier to kill enemies. Because you know everyone is just going to be going straight to the air with this stuff. Armor Synthesis Introduction. What the heck is this? Oh, maybe this is what Ada gave me. Okay, let's move over to Europa stuff. Firstly, if you haven't yet done it, go to the Stranger. She has a new aspect for each of your different classes that obviously you want to start as soon as possible, so make sure you go start that. On top of that, there's also this new mission, which I assume is Ada. Beyond that, we also have the Empire Hunt. This week it's going to be the Warrior. For the Simulation, this week it's going to be Agility. I think this is the one with all the cubes, where you have to go inside and outside, killing a bunch of different enemies. And the DSC Raid Challenge this week is going to be Copies of Copies, taking place in the second encounter of the raid, the encounter where you kill Atrax, and in this encounter, just don't flush any of the debuffs out of the airlock. So just do this one quickly, or have a bunch of Titans on your team, and you'll be fine. As for the moon stuff, for the Nightmare Hunts, we have things like Zydron, which again, I shouldn't read the rest of them, but we also have Tanix, and we have Dominus Gall. Do Zydron. You can hide in the rafters from it. As for the Garden of Salvation Raid Challenge, 0 to 100. This is going to be the boss challenge. And in this encounter, anytime you dunk motes at a specific relay, you have to dunk all 30 motes pretty much back to back. You can do them separately, the 2 different relays, but as soon as you start dunking on one of them, you have to finish that one. It's kind of hard. There's some special strategy. Woo! Moving on to the Eververse item, of which there are gonna be a freaking lot of them. Obviously, we have a lot of new seasonal stuff. On top of that, we also have the archive, so there's a lot of stuff to go over. First of all, for the Bright Dust options, firstly, we have something like Chitin Slate, which is kind of an interesting one. Looks different on a bunch of different weapons and armors. We have the Ghost Projection that looks like this if you want the Scorpion. You have the Dead Man's Tail ornament if you really wanted it. You have the Vehement Flock, which just kind of reminds me of the movie Birds, and I want to stop that right away. On top of that, obviously, you have a bunch of different silver options. We have a new Titan finisher, which I thought was going to be a Warlock finisher. That's pretty cool. A bunch of other things that should be pretty straightforward. A lot of very interesting looking stuff for this season, very Fallen-esque. Moving on to the other Bright Dust section, we have things like this August Ghost, which is pretty standard. We have the Celestial Kestel, which is very much the season or the Year of the Ox thing. We have the Excessive Elbow Dance, which is hilarious, and I do like it. We have a little Sparrow here, emote, ornament for the Master of the Quiet One if you like this, Ghost Projections, lots of different transmit effects. I actually like this one. I think it's pretty cool. Vex Arrival's also decent, but very standard. Golden Age Wine, which again looks very different on different armor pieces. Look at that golden class item. It's looking great. The First Light. Hold on, we got the First Light one, which is also very purpley, very winey. Fulvadio Core, which looks like this. Again, keep in mind that Hunter Titans color very differently than the other classes. And finally, Noble Constant Red, which looks good on a lot of different things, and I would recommend this one, especially with gold. Look, white, red, gold. Beautiful. Other than that, obviously we have the seasonal section, where if you want to buy most of the things available for silver, they are available for silver, including things like the ornament for, what is this, the Phoenix Cradle? Yeah, the Phoenix Cradle, if you want to get that nice Siva look to your legs. I hope there are a lot more Siva stuff. We have an ornament for the Arianas. I can't believe it took me so long, but I do like the burning one, so I'm probably not really interested. We have an ornament for this one, which actually looks cool, the little antennae at the back. An ornament for the Jotun, which honestly, surprised, I kind of like the look of this. It's kind of crazy. We have an ornament for the, this thing, forgot what it's called, which is also really cool. Some Traveler's Chosen, an ornament for the Duality. We have a lot of different ornaments for a lot of things. One thing that did surprise me is that we have an ornament for the Whisper of the Worm. The Whisper did not get a buff this season, will not be used this season. What is this? I don't know. I don't think it was in the archive. Did it? Maybe it got added to the archive. We also have a new ornament for the Witherhorde, which looks actually really cool, which I might probably go for. Also a Xenophage ornament, which does look pretty sick, I have to agree. It does look pretty sick as well. Beyond that, there's a whole bunch of different things, including some different emotes, which is like, this is very much a Joker joke, bang, end it, bang, got him. So cool. A bunch of different things, should be pretty straightforward what they do. And then there's transmit effects and ghost shards, or not ghost shards, ghost projections. Obviously the Vault of Glass stuff. Looking forward to it next week. Blah, 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 blah. Beyond that, there actually is a new archive section, where they've had this archive section before, but it just got huge. You can see here, there's 213 items in this list. Pretty much everything from the past is now included in this list. And on top of that, there's also going to be some filters. If you only wanted to see, for example, weapon ornaments, you could make this list a lot smaller, which is actually half the list, so it's not even really that smaller. And you can look at for exactly what you want. And it's all here for silver, which is admittedly real money, but you are able to get a lot of these things over time through other means, either by buying them with bright dusts when they're featured. Actually, I think that's the only thing, but they're all here. If you wanted to get any of them, they're all here. As for Hawthorne's inventory, showing off our weekly raid challenge for the last Swish raid, it's gonna be Strength of Memory. Yeah, so this is gonna be the boss encounter, and in this encounter, you're not allowed to shoot the same eye twice. Another one of those goddamn lights that they need to fix the electricity in this place. But I guess that's the whole aesthetic of the infinite night. Yeah, don't shoot the same eye twice. Trade with somebody if you have the same eye. I guess that's why, actually, they have the lights going on and off, is because the sun is off and they want it to look dark. Finally, let's go ahead and talk about the stuff in the Helm. First up, let's talk about the war table mods like we do usually. I guess perhaps maybe people aren't as interested in this anymore. I may stop doing this, but we have the Elemental Light and the Font of Wisdom available. I highly recommend Font of Wisdom because it gives you plus 50 intellect for 30 seconds, and just for an elemental well, which is pretty freaking awesome. The other one is ability stuff, and it's cheap, and I guess you could use it in some stuff, but the Font of Wisdom is the good stuff. On top of that, obviously, we have a bunch of new Prismatic Recaster and Umbral Engram stuff for the new season, which is the thing that many people may forgot about. You can do the past season stuff with the hammer, but you can also do the Season of the Splicer stuff, which is a whole bunch of new items that are available with the decrypted data, Umbral Engrams, getting certain requirements for finishing them, final blows with all sorts of different stuff. It's all here. I have a few Umbral Engrams. I did not realize that they just carry over from last season, but I have 9 Umbral Engrams to spend on. And a great quality of life thing is they automatically decrypt. So as soon as you do it here, it comes out the other side. No longer do you have to go over to this thing and decrypt them. This is just for regular Umbral Engrams, which I still feel like they can just combine the two. Yes. My crap. Never mind. I'll take care of that later. But beyond that, obviously, we have a new section in the Helm where you can go to visit the Helsinki. Obviously, this is a fallen talking to a human. I don't think I've ever seen this before outside of us. But yes, there's an entirely new section for the Helsinki, the House of Light, where they're going to be making new ships to destroy us with. They're going to be target practice. No, not really. But there's going to be a new Splicer Servitor, which is going to be the new upgrade wall from what I hear. So after you finish those first 2 missions that I did, I believe that was actually the artifact. Yeah, that was the artifact that I got, so you can actually take a look at it. And with that, there's going to be a new thing for the upgrade wall. Yay! Doing the new activity, the 6 made doing this stuff. Okay, buddy, relax. You have to do the things that it asks you to do to get the resources to upgrade the stuff. It's just like the hammer. It's just like the robot section in Season of the Worthy. I like this upgrade system. It's very clear. You get stuff along the way. Just follow it. On top of that, there's new bounties, which you can pick up for Glimmer, so, I mean, you might as well. But the more important one is going to be all of the special rewards. All of these are mods. I did not see these on LightGG when I was looking at them, but there are a bunch of new... Oh, these are Elemental Well mods? Oh, wonderful! A bunch of new Elemental Well mods! I was hoping that they would expand the Elemental Well stuff, because it did seem a bit simple. And this gives you the ability to do even more of that. It's just wonderful. Whoa, picking up Elemental Well that's void can actually give you damage resistance. Interesting. Rapidly defeating enemies with explosive damage spawns a solar Elemental Well, i.e. the Warmind Cell stuff that everybody loves. Although, didn't they talk about how they're gonna nerf it? I did not see in the patch notes that they did, though. There's a whole lot of fun stuff here that we're gonna be able to unlock, but you have to get these specific rank for it. So right now, I can only purchase this one, and eventually, gonna lead into this one. Breaking a shield with a matching type creates Elemental Wells. This is gonna be part of Grandmaster Nightfalls for sure. This is simple. You have to do it with match game. It's only 4 points. I think I say only. It's 4 points. That's reasonable. I'm looking forward to that one for sure. I guess the next step would be to talk to this little computer thing. Oh, it's you ago.
Valask. That's how they say hello.
Valask. Dude, I gotta know. I gotta know. How are you doing this? Can you teach me this? Is this something that can be taught? Because you are straight up holding on to, like, metal. Even with your claws, that just seems like a terrible idea. Also, are these USB slots? I know that, like, I shouldn't just be poking fun at this dude's work, but these are, like, 3 USB slots? You can charge your phone on this ship. It's crazy. Like the idea that there's clearly a bed and a sleeping bag here, and this dude just fell off and was like, I'm gonna sleep here now. Anyways, so that's probably gonna be the end of the reset video. I don't think there's anything I have yet to cover that's part of the basics. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff. I probably have missed stuff. On top of that, there's also all of the seal stuff that has for this season. I'm not gonna go over every single bit of it. A lot of that stuff is for you to find out and for you to go and get. And there's a bunch of rewards and stuff for it, for you. Ooh, those things unlock the thing. But yeah, that is gonna be the end of the video. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any questions, concerns. Also, come check out the live streams that we have right after these videos. Obviously, it got pushed back by the maintenance. Also, apparently there's some rumors about how cross-play is gonna be available very soon. Apparently they had this idea they're gonna have like a beta. Things turned off. Thank you for turning the lights back on. Apparently, cross-save beta is supposed to be coming out this season because it accidentally released at some point for certain people. And that's part of why everybody got honeydewed their brains out. But yeah, that is going to be pretty much the end. Obviously, cute animals on screen right now because you guys got all the way to this part of the video. And I just want to say thank you. And I love cute animals and I love putting in my videos. So we're gonna keep this up if you guys do like. And of course, I want to give a big thank you to my patrons on Patreon. Specifically, I want to give a big thank you to Matey Boudou, Mom, Dad, Charles Williams, Dr. Strange, Joe Smith, Minding Now, Hoppy, Steve Bachner, Justin Rare, Raymond Chona, Nuda Panther, Cole Sherm, Casey Reagan, and Paggy! I said it with a P. But that's fine, he'll forgive me. But yeah, that's gonna be the end of it. My name's Dychronic, and I'll see you guys. Hey, on the next one. Wasn't made. I bet they never expected anybody to die in the Helm. I am the unique one, a special little butterfly.